Welcome back to Fox and Friends First. The New York Times coming out swinging, the paper penning a lengthy hit piece detailing Donald Trump's relationship with women, and the rest of the media follows suit. So, would the mainstream media ever do this to Hillary Clinton? Here to weigh in, Democratic Ohio State Senator and former Ohio State Senate Minority Leader Capri Cafaro and Republican strategist Kathy Lynn Taylor. Thank you so much for getting up bright and early for us this morning.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
So, Capri, I'll start with you. You know, we have this New York Times hit piece, which Donald Trump did respond to, and he called it lame. Do you believe that they would ever do this, the same thing to Hillary Clinton?
Well, you know, I mean, I think Hillary Clinton and the Clintons, both Bill and Hillary, have been, the target of media for 25 years. If we all recall the 1990s where, Hillary Clinton asserted this is all about, a vast right-wing conspiracy. So while I do think that Hillary is not totally off the hook when it comes to emails and Benghazi and many other issues, the Clinton Foundation that are facing her and the Clintons as a whole, I do think that when it comes to the issue that Donald Trump has spoken about specifically with Hillary Clinton as a, quote, enabler of Bill's dalliances, I think that issue she's going to get a pass on from the media because of her gender.
Kathy, what do you think?
Well, I feel a little bit like the mainstream media really has given Hillary a little bit of a pass. I mean, there's certainly been a lot of headline mentions, and you're starting to see a little bit of investigative work into the Clinton Foundation dealings, which look to be potentially quite alarming.
Yeah. There was an article recently in the Washington Post.
That's right. But, it's interesting. The Washington Post was found out of 14 major news sites to have more headline mentions on their homepage of Donald Trump than any other of the top 14. It's about 70%. That is extraordinary. So not only is he garnering more media attention, but to put a small army towards investigating him is really quite different than what they're doing for Hillary, despite the issues. I think what the mainstream media is going to find out about Donald Trump is what candidates have learned about him, which is that going against him is kind of like going against a tackling dummy in preseason. You can knock it down, but it pops right back up at you.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a pretty tough course. He's never purported to be a perfect person, a perfect candidate. It's the flaws in him that make him relatable, and that's what people seem to be responding to him. So I'm just not sure these efforts are going to do much. It's important to look at both candidates for sure.
Yeah, and there were also a large amount of women that also said that he has assisted them in terms of business and put them in positions of power and leadership.
Both of these candidates have been known by the American public for the last 30 years, and I think that's what's going to make this cycle incredibly unique, both with the media and with just traditional electioneering.
All right, so we talked about the GOP party being possibly divided, but look at the Democrats and what is happening with them, specifically over this past weekend with Bernie Sanders supporters versus Hillary Clinton supporters. And do we expect this fight to continue? I mean, we've said it before, Bernie says he's in it to last, at least until June 7th.
For sure. He's not going away. The Bernie Sanders supporters, I think, are going to be very difficult for Hillary Clinton to nail down. I think that, she's in a tough spot. She can't push Bernie Sanders out because that's only going to alienate his supporters even more. And so for her, she needs to hope that Bernie Sanders, after Hillary hits that magic number of delegates to be the nominee for the Democratic Party, she has to beg Bernie to get out there and be her surrogate to unite the party. Without that, I think it's going to be incredibly difficult, and we could be seeing a pretty bloody fight in Philadelphia.
Not only have his followers said that they will not support her if he does not tell them to do that, they've also said that they will cross party lines and support Donald Trump instead.
Some will because of his stance on trade, for example.
Right, exactly. Kathy?
Yes, I mean, I don't know that there's an issue, Capri, and I could agree more on it. So what a nice way to start Monday morning. But it's a real issue, and it's an issue for Democrats because when you look at voter turnout in the primary, and you look at the fact that as opposed to 2008, which was the last contested presidential primary for both parties, the Democratic voter turnout is down about 35%, and Republican voter primary turnout is up about 70%. I don't think there's a number or a set of numbers that tells the story more about what we have to look forward to than those.
Yeah, and any enthusiasm that is going on the Democratic side is in Bernie's camp. So can she continue that?
That's right. And the GOP has gotten a real gift in getting, presumptive nominee earlier.
They have. All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. Appreciate the conversation this morning.